Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be my final rant because I don't really think I need to speak further more on the subject. This isn't really for a live stream per se. This is more of just a final, easier response. It's a lot easier to do it this way. So, um, there are some things I need to touch up upon, and if you see me kind of shaking a bit, no, it's not out of fear. It's freezing up here. It's like 60 something degrees up here, and I'm not used to the cold. Not to mention we're getting an inch of snow, so I just want to make sure we're on the same page as that. But this is going to be okay. Well, hey, Rhythm, sorry. This isn't really supposed to be a live stream. This is just an easier way for me to make a video or whatnot. But I'm just gonna finish all of this off with one final uh, response to Mikeanactor because there's something I do need to touch up upon. But in difference, we're not gonna yell. We're not gonna shout. We're not gonna do any of that. I'm going to take a more far subtle approach to this, and don't get me wrong, the feelings of anger haven't subsided, but we're going to be a little bit more calm, level-headed about this, because I do want to give a little bit of the reasoning and kind of refresh the memory to Mike, because I don't think it kind of set through to him and to some of his followers. I don't think it's set through to them. But let me just make this completely clear. I'm not here to convince people. I am not here to say I told you so. I'm not here to gain anything from you, Mike. When you mentioned on your on one of your videos when you put you put a picture of my little tweet on your thumbnail, you said something about giving someone a platform. Uh, yes, I did see that, and I will actually help out with that campaign for Shiloh getting her tattoo removed. I do get paid this Friday, so I will definitely help out with that. Back to you, Mike. I don't want anything from you. I don't. I don't want anything from you. But before we get into that, we're going to go through this. And while I'm waiting for this to go through, perhaps I need to actually talk to some certain people out there, a certain person who feels the need to bring up the fact that they have been going through abuse for 9 years and they want to use this guilt tripping tactic. And they want to say that I'm trying to seek sympathy from certain people that we mutually know. And of course, I've been using the DC word. You figure out that for yourself. Or I'll just say it dumb cunt. But to that certain person out there, you don't know me. You don't know a single thing about me. I'm not talking to Mike. I'm talking to this one particular individual that we have been noticing. I can't reply to her for some reason, so I don't know, which I'm not going to complain about. You don't know me. And do you want me to have, hear your story? Do you? Because some parts of me do feel sorry for you that you actually gone through abuse. But let me tell you something, and you know what? This is probably going to be used against me from certain people watching. But you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. I've actually been abused for over 20 plus years, and I'm not going to tell you by who. But I don't use that as a crutch. And if you want to continue threatening me over some stupid, trivial bullshit because I happen to mention Joyce Sparkle's BS along with your senpai Mikeanactor, get the fuck over yourself. You know? I know what the hell I was talking about. I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what the hell that I'm speaking about. I know what my own actions and my own feelings are towards. This isn't to garner the attention away from Mike. This isn't to take anything away from him. Okay? I don't want anything from Mike. This isn't about fame or popularity. Everyone that pretty much was trying to shove that shit down my throat saying how much of a dipshit or a vile piece of shit I was completely missed the point. Especially you. Because one of the victims of Onision that Mikeanactor has also exploited time and time again is someone who I am close with. That's the reason. But the reason I've never shared this other part because I was also abused, but I don't use that as a crutch. A little bit more information that needs to be put out there than before, but you know what? I haven't put it out there before. Now you know. And now other people know. And I'm not going to explain specifically by who. Now, I know it's late. There's not going to be much people watching, but this isn't really for about anyone showing up. This is just a response, and if people show up to this, fine. This is 27 minutes, and like I said, we're not going to yell. We're not going to scream. I'm just going to speak calmly, despite that I may have anger in me, but I'm going to be calm about this, and I'm going to at least explain some certain details. Now, there is a certain part that I actually did watch where he brings up my tweet, but we're going to play this from the very beginning. And also, for anyone that keeps saying this doesn't help anybody or help the victims, don't use that argument with me. Okay? Because the people that use that argument just seem to get personally offended themselves. And if you get personally offended, then you're not really giving a shit about people. You're just giving a shit about yourself and personal in general. So you're only proving my point, and you're proving other people's point that are calling you out. So while that's playing, let's get into this.
Now this approach I wanted to use.
Okay, it went back to that part, which I don't want it. Just go to the beginning, please. Thank you.
Presented by Carvana. Save $1,000 on any vehicle in our inventory. Black Friday through Cyber Monday.
Hey, shit. We're gonna do this a little bit differently. I'm gonna be calm about this.
Okay, so I've got some things to discuss today. I just got home, and it's the end of the day, and I'm about to relax, but I thought I'd make a quick video just updating you on a few things. So,
doesn't really seem quick to me. It's like 27 minutes, so you kind of really took your time on this, by the way. And Shade's pretty much already mentioned the person, so that's Niece, by the way. Yeah. We kind of gone over a little bit of that stuff. By the way, I would recommend, Niece, that you stop threatening me with shit and lying about me. I know what abuse feels like, too. I've gone through it for 20 plus fucking years. A little bit more information that needs to be put out there than it is, but again, now you know.
Retaliation to Billy appearing on Chris Hansen's stream.
And then you kind of realize, Mike, why I'm so pissed. Because this is an example. Let me show you. Again, and another Onision video after again, and then you made about, what, 2 more after this? And then you're using the situation of Billy being doxxed. And you're garnering that attention. You've admitted, sorry, let me go close the door. You've admitted this transparently, and for once someone argued with me on Twitter, is that you were transparent and honest with this. Let me get this person a little bit of a reality check. Just because if you're transparent and honest about something does not mean that the situation that you were throwing out there is any better. It does not mean that it doesn't mean that your intentions of it make it any more good. That does not mean necessarily that you are caring. Just because if you're transparent and honest about something, that does not always mean that it's always a good thing. Sure, maybe 2 positives, but even sometimes 2 positives can be hidden with a negative. Don't you agree? You can even ask Monkey here.
Onision has re-released all of the screenshots from the period with which he was talking about the breakup with Billy.
Well, I mean, everyone pretty much already announced this, but the difference between some certain people out there, and there are certain people out there that don't numerously make videos, have covered this. I've already witnessed this, but I didn't feel the need to cover it. I didn't feel the need to cover this, and I'm not going to reveal exactly why I'm going to get so highly passionate about this. I mean, you kind of already do, but there's a little bit more to it than that, aside from my personal feelings of Billy. Yeah, I wasn't looking for sympathy. But again, I'm not gonna. This is something a little bit different. It had to do with another live stream that I went to, so let's continue. Oh, and I'm gonna be up until all this part of the video is over. So if you want to stick around, that's up to you. But it's 12:39 a.m. my time, so if you want to stick around, by all means.
Now, I'm not going to share all of them, but there's about several tweets, separate tweets. The other thing he's doing at the moment is trying to idealize. So idealization is basically one of two manipulations.
I'm not going to argue this point. I'm just going to let him talk and just throw that there. I'm just going to wait until a certain part of the video, and then we'll actually get into it.
Tactics, and it's used to basically yo-yo your victim between feeling good and feeling like they've done something wrong, and feeling good and feeling like you've done something wrong. So you can just string them along. And we're at a stage in Anisian's denial where he is trying to idealize his experiences and show that he's human. He's trying to humanize himself and show that he's reflecting on, how he feels and, all this stuff and, his regrets. And he's trying to humanize himself because he knows that if he does that, he has a bigger chance of, suppose, fooling people.
Yeah, actually, my anger of you aside for now, I agree. That is actually what he does. And don't get me wrong, let me speak to you on a mutual plane here. I agree with you 100% that I think Onision is a complete scumbag piece of shit, and I believe that him losing his Patreon, him doing all that, again, Onision not the main subject here, but it's on you. But, mutually speaking, I would love to see him lose everything. His Patreon, his channel, his Instagram, everything. I do. That's something we can mutually agree on. The only thing is that I don't see your method. I don't see your method as helping. Maybe to your fans or to your followers it does. I don't, and so do other people's. But here's what I get the problem from you, Mike, is that your fans display a very, very dangerous sense of blind fanaticism. Oh, I'm a grown woman, I'm a grown man. It doesn't matter how old you are. If your mentality is that you're going to believe somebody on their actions despite it being either, I don't know, immature, bad, promiscuous, or completely unethical, and you think it's not wrong, or bizarre, shady, and you don't think it's wrong, oh yeah, he's been honest about that, yada yada yada, when it doesn't change the fact that's blind fanaticism. They're going to praise you. They're going to think that you're doing good, when in fact, in my personal perspective, this isn't healthy. You straight up admit to milking the situation, and yet somehow I get called out for being an attention whore. What I could say about 10 or 11 of my videos were related to Onision. You have 230, and somehow I'm the view whore. And you acknowledged me as a smaller channel. So did you finally acknowledge the fact that I called you an upper tier channel? I will actually give you props and respect to that. I'm not kidding. Despite the resentment I have for you, I will give you that respect there. I will. But it's only about that much, though. So you ain't getting much.
But there's so much evidence out there now, and there's so many testimonies, and there's so much awareness of who Greg is.
Awareness from others, yes. From you, it's a cash cow. Again, you're using a situation. Okay, look. Let me point it to you clear. This wouldn't have been a big deal if your videos were not always like after an hour or after a day at a time. Like this year, this year, this year, this year. You know, when people like some guy 827 made his videos, he doesn't make them constantly on the basis on every single thing. He jams about like a big chunk of things into a video, and he does it. He's done this a long time. He's one of the OGs. He's been doing this for a long time, but he doesn't do it very obsessively like you and Joy Sparkles did. And the reason why I keep bringing up Joy Sparkles is because you two you two practice the exact same methods. That's why I keep bringing her up, which is why I'm thinking, are you the puppet master to her, or are you the one enabling her behavior, or is it the other way around? Because you were only around 3 years, the exact same time that she may have been supposedly around for 3 years. I've been on this platform for over 10, 11 years before you showed up. That's what I wanted to point out.
What he's done. Now, I don't care if he wants to be called James now. I really don't care. He's Greg. It's who he is.
Agreed. I'm not gonna rant on that.
He's recognized as Greg, and also it helps me legally because I'm not technically describing him because it's not his legal.
His name's public out there, so why would it matter? It's already legal to say so because he's already had his name out there on his multiple channels. He's got like what, 5, 6, and he's already had his name mentioned so many times. I don't really think it's gonna matter in the long run. So,
Name anymore, is it? Allegedly. There was this tweet.
Oh, did you actually get the inspiration for me to say allegedly? I like how you emphasized allegedly, because when I actually mentioned when you said Sarah was allegedly one of Onision's victims, so was that kind of a like an indirect jab at me for some way? I don't know. I could be wrong, but again, when you emphasized allegedly, kind of made it feel like that. And being that my tweet is also posted on your video as a thumbnail.
In which he retweeted the infamous "Be Mad" quote from Billy. And basically he says, "My actual biggest regret is focusing so much on my own feelings, not thinking more about others." Why did you wait until now to highlight this was your biggest regret? It seems very tactical, right?
Kind of like you making your tactical assets of videos. But I digress. I'm just going to let him talk a little bit because there are points of this I do agree with. Don't get me wrong. That does not mean that I respect him, but I do agree with some points.
There's a reason why it would seem tactical, because there's manipulation. He's trying to humanize himself and idealize himself. And it's in direct contrast to some of the vile things he's been saying on Twitter that come across as very strange and insensitive given what he's being accused of. It's this weird...
Okay, hold on, let me pause. And this is actually out of the subject. Yes, I actually did make videos on McJuggernuggets. Here's the thing, though, is that I admitted to being wrong about McJuggernuggets because that stuff was a series. But it's been coming to a point in time where they actually used real-life situations, like actual real-life, like legal situations, and they turned that into a series. I admitted my own faults for that. This, on the other hand, I don't regret this one bit. So I want to make that completely clear. I'm as human and I can make mistakes. Do not get me wrong. But with this, the feelings are just completely different.
Yo-yoing effect. So there's these vile tweets, like I said, idealization.
Okay, let me also make this clear. It's like, you better not take my tweet out of context with the whole thing with Onision's tweets, by the way. Because you're mentioning tweets throughout this entire video. That's what I definitely see. But I'm going to forewarn you, I better not see my tweet being misrepresented in a different context with this shit. I just want to make that clear. Okay?
I mean, basically the opposite of idealization, vileness, degrading your victims, all that sort of thing. And then you've got the other side of it, which is the idealization. So he's being idealistic now. He's showing us that he's human. Guys, not thinking more about others, how they feel. So basic human empathy, basically. She acted this way because I was being judgmental and demonizing. No, Or she would have different things to say, and basically, you're showing that you don't get it, dude, by speaking for her and assuming what she was feeling at that point in time. She's acting this way because I was being judgmental and demonizing. You have no grounds to say how she was feeling, and she stated on a live stream how she was feeling with Chris Hansen. She's given us most of the details, and I respect her for not revealing everything because I feel like that was for her own.
Not revealing every detail, yet you've been making 230-ish videos revealing almost every single thing going on. Kind of being hard to believe in the contrast of that. So even without that particular information being submitted forth, I don't think that matters.
Comfort and security. And I respect you for doing that. That's the thing. He just doesn't respect Billy. He's
But again, mutually, I agree with what he's saying. But does that feel sincere, is the question. Maybe. I don't know. Some part of me just kind of just thinks a little bit like,
speaking for her and saying she was acting this way because, you know, it's like he's still trying to control her in a way. I didn't see it then. It's hard when you're hurt. You have to grow. You don't understand hurt. You don't understand hurt, Greg. It's arguable.
Sorry.
And I mean, this is just a subjective take, but I don't think you've been genuine once on your YouTube channel. And I don't think you've once demonstrated.
3 years you've been on this covering Onision, and that's now starting to occur. You don't think once he's ever been sincere? It only took me 2 weeks to figure that out when I was once a subscriber back then, like what, 2011, 2010? And then I realized exactly how that pretty much turned out. Is it starting to really dawn on you right there? Okay.
Demonstrated any actual empathy or the fact that you've been hurt, or I don't think you've actually ever been vulnerable. And I think it's because you just don't know how. You don't know how to be vulnerable. And I think that's sad, because I think that's how you truly learn and grow. And because you are incapable of being vulnerable, you can't have empathy for other people when they are vulnerable.
I mean, all that, from what he said, is true. I'm not going to argue there.
You can't have self-respect. And here he's talking about Shiloh. Shiloh has an amazing voice. I really hope people check out her albums. This is such a backhanded compliment. It's not. This is simply him.
Actually, no, I also kind of find it funny. You're also covering, like, every single tweet that's been going on here. Kind of like you're covering every single detail. So you're covering every single tweet that you get regarding this. You made 3 other videos on that. It's like, that's all you ever do. I mean, yeah, you make certain videos here on certain people to the side, but this is like your main criteria for it too, right? First of all, and to other people that wanted to ask this, like, yeah, Shiloh did actually pick out his tweet. That's fine. It's not a jealousy factor that I'm here, okay? If it was jealousy, don't you think I probably would have been doing the exact same thing as Mikey here, making multiple videos on the matter? Because this is actually only the second time I've ever actually made a video on this. The first time ever I've ever called out Mike, people started jumping the conclusion that I was just trying to jump on for this bandwagon or trying to take fame or try to get a platform from him. No. Okay? When I stopped making videos on certain people, I left it behind. I didn't make numerous to hundreds of videos over the same person over and over again because, again, it didn't matter anymore. And even if I did make videos monetizing that, by the way, it's not going to matter. YouTube itself is not going to let me monetize videos with curse words in them. So why would that matter to you guys? And the fact that I said it before is that I don't think he holds the best interest at heart. If you do hold the best interest of them at heart, what you can do is you can reach out to them, or how about this? How about you donate some of that money to some of his victims rather than just cash grabbing it yourself? Selfishness and selflessness. Do you not see the difference there? If you really did care, why not you do that for them? Maybe I might start seeing a different aspect of your life. Or a different aspect of your YouTube career. But again, to be clear, I don't want anything from you, okay? I don't want the attention from you, which I don't really care in the long run anyway. I don't want any money. I don't want to garner anything from you. This isn't a competition, but I'm basically calling you out because I don't feel like this is completely insincere. Because if you were sincere about this, you wouldn't be obsessed with all of these things and also using these people's situations. Again, you're using Billy's situation of being doxxed. You're making money off that. Not that I'm saying that it's inherently wrong, because certain situations that you talk about, fine. But when you're going to obsessively make it over and over again, like Billy, Sarah, Shiloh, like Sky, and you're going to continually go on and obsess and strut and milk situations from what he's done since, like, what, 2011 or 2012, just giving the general year and occupancy back then, yeah, that becomes a problem. It's nothing to do with Onision himself, okay? So we're on the same page. It's not about him, though I will say that it is obsessive and unhealthy, but when you're using other people's situations or the victim situations, that becomes a problem. And that's where I also have the problem of your fans being so blindly fanatic to what you're doing. And I'm not here to boast, but I have been talking to higher tier channels, higher above you, by the way. And you want to know they think? They think you're a joke, you're a fake. They think you're a fraud. And the one thing that I can pretty much just picture back to that really reminds me so much of how I just don't think you're sincere about any of this is Joy Sparkles. And from what I hear, you still talk to her. And maybe you do have good intentions. Maybe you do. But again, couldn't you use those good intentions for something a little bit more above being more selfless than selfishness? Again, with the whole Keemstar thing, I get it. He's a piece of shit. But do we really need to treat it like it's some competition? And yeah, I will fucking agree. He jumped right in with that whole, when Onision started losing his mind and started pouring wine all over his damn body. And I pretty much think it's a second take because, you know, the bottle itself was empty and his hair was already wet, so I get that part, but this isn't a competition. I'll deal with her later about the whole Repsion thing. It's basically the exact same thing that me and Repsion have covered about, but let's just continue.
Trying to control the narrative. Now, it's different. It's interesting because I've recently started employing tactics after my experiences in September, which were very stressful. I'm not going to lie. It was very stressful because I didn't know how to deal with it. And I'm going to go into it more at the end of the video. But one tactic that I'm using is just being kind to them, being compassionate, because I do like everyone, you know. So coming from me, it's mostly, unless you're being...
That's kind of hard to believe, the fact that you're smiling too, and not in really that little gleeful way.
Really mean to me, it's mostly coming from a genuine place. Because I am an empath, and it's weird. It's like the more I talk about this stuff and open up, the more confident I feel just saying that.
Kind of like the more you talk about this all the damn time is the more confident for me to call you out on it, being that some other people didn't actually have the balls to come out and call you out on it. Maybe you did have good intentions. I'll say it again. Maybe you did have good intentions. Maybe. But again, does it really mean that you have to do 200 to 230 videos? This is kind of the crap that I was being warned about, because what if I went into an obsessive thing? What if Repsion did the same thing? What if some guy 827 did the same thing? What if Ranter and Shades did the same thing? Or I did the same thing? And it goes the other way around. I wouldn't want people kissing my ass. I wouldn't want people kissing Shades' ass, or, you know, Repsion's ass, or some guy 827's ass. The thing is that we know when to draw the line in terms of that. Is there anything wrong with you wanting to take a stance against Onision? Absolutely. Absolutely not, okay? I actually support that part. If you want to take a stance against Onision, by all means, I'm with you there. Despite my resentment towards you for some of this shady, selfish, and completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignorant business practice that you have, despite that, I'm actually with you all the way there, 100% against Onision. You know what? If it ever came to a point, if we were ever confronted by Onision, I would actually toss my resentment and pretty much my complete disdain for you aside. I would. Okay? If that was ever the case. But when I look at shit like this, again, on my own time, calm myself down a bit. When I look at shit like this on my own time, I don't see the absolute sincerity here. There are better ways to do it. I don't choose to obsessively make videos, just like other people don't choose to obsessively make videos. Here's the thing. I've been given constructive criticism to make my channel better. I may not have higher subscribers, but that's fine. I'm content with it. I'm grateful for it. And speaking of which, it's Thanksgiving Day. I'm thankful for what I already have. I don't need anything else. I may be pissed that YouTube is pretty much cracking down so much on channels that can't really get anywhere, and I'm pissed off about that, but you know what? I'm still grateful for what I have. I'm grateful I have people that criticize me sometimes because maybe I'm taking my stuff in the wrong direction and they want to set me in the right direction. And I listen. So if I actually made so much as 200 to 230 Onision videos, I'm pretty sure I would have lost the respect of a lot of people. That is about that's 3/4 of my audience that would have left me. I can guarantee that because I know 3/4 of my audience. So when I see this, I'm seeing a version of myself that could have been completely obsessed and would have lost the respect of a lot of people. And I'm not telling you to change. I'm not here to convince you. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to skip ahead here.
Kind to people.
Hold on.
And I want to become better.
Till I see that, I'm not convinced, though.
And
Ad.
Next time you do this, you could be doing this. How? By...
this is a direct violation of that. So I have to call it out. He's using kindness itself and empathy.
You were still on the Onision stuff.
An empathic person. And I think that's what's really disturbing about this. So reading through this, Shiloh has an amazing voice. Very, very amazing. I mean, you asked her to shave her head, and you also locked her out of your room.
It's basically It's basically about Shiloh, and it's basically about Billy. That's the issues I'm having. He's using those situations, and he's milking those situations, and he's profiting off of that. But again, if you let me put it to you in a simpler, more way. If you had only about 15 videos and it was in between, okay, maybe a week ago towards a month, maybe a few more weeks or a month after that, I wouldn't really pretty much give much of a crap about that, okay? Because there are certain subjects that I've touched upon that regard certain people in that. But it still lays into the difference is that I don't obsessively make it about money. What's important is the message. What's important is the cause. What's important is about the feelings that I have, that I display. Maybe sometimes they come off as cringy. Yes, possibly. But what is important above everything else, above the money, above the fame, above the 15 minutes of fame, above the attention seeking, is the message. The message and the cause. Those two things are the main things that I care about. Those are the only two things that matter to me the most in any video, not just this, and not just my Onision videos that I had. Every single video that I do on this channel is for a purpose and for a cause. And sometimes maybe my heart may not be in the right place in some of those, and maybe sometimes I may be wrong in some of those videos. But as long as I stick to the cause of it, at least that's what shows that I actually have the respect from people, because I know exactly what I should be doing and what I should not be doing. And if I make a mistake on a video, I try to improve, and I don't go back and to repeat the same mistake. You, on the other hand, when you make videos like this, you repeat a cardinal sin, a mistake. You repeat the same mistake. Because now, what if a few days or a few weeks, maybe even a few years from now, some people saying, why are you still covering this? It's pretty much done. Those are the kind of people you're going to run into soon. I've dealt with that, and so has other people. That's what I also want to get with you on that sort of subject about. Sorry, I had something in my throat.
Have our differences. Wow, dude. Understatement of the year. You only her and nearly destroyed her life, destroyed her to her core. We have our differences. You joke.
Yeah, I kind of found that hard to believe that you're really actually giving a shit again, because you feel like you're just milking it. Shit. Not even Stevie would go this low.
But her angelic voice is undeniable. Disgusting. I mean, it's direct contradiction, because he doesn't understand empathy or other people's feelings. He doesn't care. The reason he doesn't care is he's trying to put forward an idea of himself.
Basically, shit that I've already heard on Twitter that I actually need to hear on a video, by the way. Could have just saw that shit on Twitter. And here's something else I wanted to point out to you, by the way, Mike. Because Sarah pointed this out ever since that whole complete breakdown that he had, and luckily for me, I didn't actually watch the video on YouTube. It was shared through Twitter, which was thankfully. Ever since that whole, sorry, I had to go through live just to pause that so I can see the comments. But the thing about it was, the message that I got from Sarah was to not watch anymore, not directly to me, but like in general to everybody, to not watch any more Onision videos. What are you doing, Mike? Are you watching more Onision videos? Because you're pretty much going against the advice of someone that says don't watch any more Onision videos. And here you are, making your reactions and also making your video responses. Care to explain that? I mean, I can pull that tweet. I mean, I can send you that tweet via DM if you like. I agree with you on some stuff, but did you catch the tweet Sarah sent? Luckily for me, I haven't seen any since, and yeah.
While also doxing Billy all over again. He's got all of the tweets and all the private conversations he had.
Okay,
with
well,
Billy
we're going to get to the part where he's about to mention my tweet.
But yes, that's some of my thoughts on Onision doxing Billy again.
Oh, wow, Mike, you're actually here. Well, we're going to play the video first before we actually get into the conversation here. And surprisingly, Mike, I haven't really torn into you like I did in the first one, but if you want to go ahead and explain, go ahead and explain. Because I really find it really hard, since you're here. There's a part of me that actually does believe maybe you do actually have a good heart in this. Maybe. But again, why do you feel the need for 200 or 230 videos when there's already thousands of people that do this? I'm not saying 200 to 230. I mean, you got some people out there that do it, and, you know, those people, I believe, should be criticized for it because it's unhealthy. This is the sort of shit that me and others were constructively criticized for. Mike, that sort of stuff is unhealthy. That's not my main issue here. My main issue with you is that you're using every single detail and every single situation that Onision's victims have been going through for every single one of your videos. You don't see Repsion doing this with every single video on his channel within that span. You don't see some guy 827 doing that. You don't see me doing that. You don't see others doing that. And I get it. That's us. You do you, fine. I don't have anything against you making a Onision video, but when it becomes an obsession, like a drug, that's when you have to have this sort of intervention. But when I tore into you, and when I said certain words like faggot, it was not to be implied as being derogatory to you. It was out of a high passion because I happened to be close with one of these people. I happened to be close to one of the people that Onision hurt. The person that you mentioned in this video. I wouldn't say close, but I'm good friends with that person. I keep saying close. I'm good friends with that person, and I place her safety above everything else. Like, I place her safety above getting back at Greg. So, mutually, Mike, I agree with you that he's a piece of shit. I agree with you that he's nothing more than a manipulating piece of shit that deserves to get run off here. But this is the kind of stuff that I don't feel is healthy. And it pisses me off because you treat it as a marketing tactic. And how am I supposed to take you seriously or to take you at the word for value? If you say you care, but you treat it as a marketing value. People's lives are not a marketing value. This is what RSN did. Only difference is that he was promoting merch out of it. You're squeezing every single drop. And just in case you didn't catch this, I don't want anything from you. I don't want the attention. I don't want the fame. I don't want the money. This isn't competition. That's not what I want. I'm not here to put you down. I'm not here to say that you shouldn't be here. I'm not here to say that you don't deserve to have a YouTube channel or that you should be called out. I'm not saying that I'm a person that actually is devoid of any moral values. Okay? Because you don't know me and I don't know you. I'm not here to judge you upon your personal life, Mike. That's not who I am. Now, do I admit that I was actually, like, completely harsh? Fuck yes. I was completely harsh, but not without good reason. I didn't know you muted me. That's fine. I'm not pissed, but that's not what I'm angry about. If the fact of the matter is, if you weren't so obsessed in trying to squeeze every drop and treat it like competition between Keemstar or whatnot, and don't get me wrong, I would supposedly be on board with you with Keemstar. He's a piece of shit, I agree. But why? We've already got people covering the subject. You've got Chris Hansen. You've got multiple states. You've already got other channels spreading the awareness. Why do you feel the need to do that? But I want to actually get into this because I think this is the part we need to hear.
Apparently her, I'm not sure where the source is,
but surprisingly, Mike, I actually appreciate the fact that you actually haven't gotten hostile with me. Despite the fact that I've been hostile with you. Bear with me for a moment. I need to find my charging cable. Here we go. So you'll have to excuse me. But Mike, this does not change my perspective on you. Where did that put it? Bear with me one moment. That's not something I'm gonna let slide. So, you used my tweet, that's fine. I'm not gonna be pissed about that. Why should I? Cancel. Thank you. So thank you for being patient with me. But Mike, let me kind of refresh something a little bit with you. And again, I'm not going to judge you based upon your friendship with Joy Sparkles, but let me kind of reiterate something with you. Joy Sparkles has shown the exact same kind of methods that you have been doing. No one here is a homophobic moderator, by the way. As a matter of fact, Shades and Chelsea, they advocate for the rights of people who are gay, bisexual, and lesbian. No one here. No, I know this has nothing to do with Joy, Mike. What I'm trying to tell you is that you have the same reflection and the same business practice as Joy. And Joy Sparkles happens to be the reason I'm partially responsible for her. So is Stevie. So is Shades, by the way. So Shades, the guy you're talking to, is another person who was partially responsible. Atticus the Death Meddler was another person who was partially responsible because we promoted her. We reached out to her. We had conversations with her. That's the reason. And for the fact that she took all of this, she took her obsession to new levels, and the fact that she pretty much, what's the word I'm looking for? She turned her back on us. And the fact she stuck her fans on people, and the fact that she obsessively went after Onion, the fact that she used her obsessive behavior and pretty much endangered pretty much some certain lives to that whole Daddy 05 situation, and you didn't pay attention to that. No, it's fine, Chelsea. Don't time him out. Let him talk. I want to be fair here. You didn't catch any of that. You even said in one of your videos, regardless of what she said or what she did, it does not change. So you didn't pay attention to any of that. And what I see here is another Joy Sparkles. 200 to 230 videos. You've been on this platform for 3 years. I've been here for 10 or 11. But we'll get into you in just a moment. I want to read something.
A few people have confirmed it for me that her...
I don't care about thresholds. Thresholds do not mean shit to me. I don't care about the money. I don't care about that.
phone number was released by Anision.
Unless you're referring to
I'm not sure
something
if it was
different.
Intentional, but I'm betting it was. So that's disgusting.
Here we go.
Also, someone tagged me in a tweet today, which I do want to respond to. I want to respond to criticism, even if it is not very well, shall we say,
Like the mannerisms.
their approach isn't very humane.
Humane. Yeah, humane. Mike, that reflection doesn't sit well with me. You know why I got pissed? You know why I called you out? Do you know why? I mean, it's obvious. You should know why. But I want you to think about this. If it had been you, it doesn't matter who. If it would have been you that was taken advantage of by Onision, and I happened to milk every single subject, milk everything of your life that pretty much revolved around him, milked everything for a business practice that you have admitted to exploiting. Yeah, the fact that you just called my moderators homophobic is something that doesn't help your case, by the way, too. So I would not kind of go there. And not to mention, one of my moderators is, in fact, a homosexual. He's not here right now, but if you want to actually, if you want me to send him a message, I would be more happy to do that for you, and I can actually have him come on later if you like. But I digress. What was I saying? If it was you placed in that situation where you were being taken advantage of, yeah, and you know what? I've actually displayed a bit of respect for you since you actually took the time to acknowledge the fact that you got a little bit more self-respect for you as a higher tier channel. So I think you took the word that I said for it. I think you at least took the word that I said. Transparent or not, that does not help your case. It doesn't. Let's play this.
But at Mikeanactor, F it. I'm just going to grow some balls and say it.
And yes, out of the few people, I was the only one to grow some balls to actually speak out what I thought was completely wrong here.
Okay. Cool. After watching your onion vids, it's clear to me that you don't care about Onision's victims. Okay, cool. You just exploit every single detail and subject as marketing advantage. So yeah, I've got some major beef.
I like that mannerism you had right there. That mannerism doesn't sit well with me. But it's not a big deal right now, but eventually it's going to sink in because maybe you had some sort of reaction to that. Mike, let me just tell you something. I don't have anything against you. This is repetitive, I know, but I want you to think about this. I'm not pissed that you make Onision videos. I'm not pissed at that at all. But the span of everything, 3 years. I've actually acknowledged your existence back then when Joy Sparkles was around. But then the more I saw how you kept doing the same thing over and over again is where I wanted to distance myself away from all of that. And sure, maybe once in a while I came back and talked about Onision because there was a certain subject. I made exceptions in my life not to do that. Unless something bad happened. And yet, something bad did happen. It did. But then again, I decided to draw the line and say, you know what? I think I've done everything that I needed to do here. Let the authorities take care of it. Let Chris Hansen take care of it. Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator. It was like, okay, there's nothing more for me. But then those 3 years later from I wanted to pretty much delve away from that, from you still do the same thing. There's more to your YouTube career than just this. You can do, I know you do other things. That's fine. And to be honest with you, some of your content isn't that bad. It's actually quite enjoyable. I'm not going to lie. But why? Not even Some Guy 827 and Repsion are this deep and delved into it. And we're talking the OGs here. Before I was even around. These people were around way before I was around. But we'll get into that in just a moment. There is a certain part of this I do want to hear.
So I responded, and I responded a little bit later after I saw the tweet because I was thinking, how am I going to respond to this? Because I usually like to respond to everyone to a degree. There are certain people that I won't respond to anymore, and you know who you are.
That smug face does not help you, by the way. Just want to make that clear. Again, going to be calm. When I see facial expressions like that, it's really hard to say that this doesn't feel like sincerity.
But it's really funny because they haven't stopped trying since September. And
well, I mean, to be unclear on the record here, I haven't said anything to you since... Well, actually, no, I haven't said anything to you ever, as far as I remember. As far as I remember, the only thing I've ever really said was to Joy Sparkles. So... Come on, let's not be condescending here.
my advice to them, as someone on the internet who tried to be patient with them, I will say you need to get professional psychic.
Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure I'm not confusing this. Mike, who are you referring to in this particular sense? I'm talking about I can't even talk, I'm sorry. Psychiatric help. Who are you referring to? I just want to make that context clear, because I don't want to jump the gun on that, because there are other people that you could be talking about. But you did mention the tweet, so I want to make sure that is exactly if it's me or somebody else. Can you please clarify this before I continue? At least grant me that. That's all I ask. Was that me you just referred to in the sense of getting psychiatric help? Is that who you're referring to? monkey. Go play. I don't know if he's talking to you at that point. I don't know if he's talking to me. I mean, it kind of does matter what you're saying. I mean, you're here. I mean, I'm listening to you, Mike. I even told Chelsea not to time you out. I want to hear what you have to say. So, yeah, your voice does matter. Well, I mean, surprisingly, you weren't actually here for the first few minutes. There were actually times I actually did agree with some things in your video. So, you might as well knock that bullshit out and give me a straight answer. Because I have agreed with you in certain parts of these videos. I said mutually, I agree with you that Onision is a piece of shit. I've said mutually that maybe your heart is in the right place. I even mutually agreed that some of the points that you made regarding those things are in fact true. So can you stop, jerking me off and give me a straight answer? Was that me that you referred to getting psychiatric help? I've got witnesses that even saw me do this, that saw me agree with some shit that you said. Okay? So you got my word on that. So I just want a simple, straight answer. And don't preach to me about echo chamber, okay? When you got your fans pretty much saying that, oh, you don't do anything wrong. The exploitation speaks for itself. But can you at least just answer that question? That is all I'm asking. I'm not going to have her time you out. I actually want to hear what you have to say. Because if I didn't, you wouldn't be here. And to some degree, I do value what you have to say. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. The only person that's really getting timed out here is that niece person for threatening me over some damn lie. That's the only person that I've given her permission to time out because she's gone way too overboard with this. So, she happens to be one of your fans, but she's mutually a fan of, well, she was mutually once a fan of me, and she's a fan of two people that I know. So we can cut the bullshit out here. But don't argue to me about echo chamber. Because right now, the situation is going two ways. Okay? Mike, you may have a lot of people supporting you, but there's a lot of things that you don't really know on the other side. Is that there's also another side you may not be aware of. But I'm not a part of the commentary community or the drama community. There's a community I don't think you're pretty much caught up with, or maybe you are aware of it. I'm part of the ranting community. And there are people in the ranting community that don't buy this. But I want to give you the chance. So I'm going to look through this. Was that a fucking gun? Are there gunshots going on my, like right outside? Oh, thank God. Never mind. Shit. I was about to fucking, call the cops or something. Sorry for the inconvenience there. Chelsea, just calm down. Please, breather. Just let him talk, okay? But, in all honesty, I thought there was, gunshots going off, so I was about to freak the fuck out. Okay. I know, Chelsea. I know. It's just I think it's just tense, and it was kind of unexpected that this would actually happen. It's just okay, cool. So she's one of those. Mike, well, maybe, but I don't really think you should have gone to the conclusion, like jump the gun and call my moderators homophobic, because that was actually uncalled for. Because especially when I used the word faggot, it was not to be in a derogatory term. It was just out of the heat of the moment of being passionate or highly passionate because I was angry. It was out of an angry impulse. So I want to clarify that with you. So, so are we good? Everyone good? We're all calm. We're all chill. Wait, hold on. Doesn't matter. Now, can you please answer the question? Was this me that you said that needed psychiatric help? That we said. Okay, so the question was I the person that you just son of a bitch, sorry about that. I'm charging this up. Or let me just go back and play it. Okay, cool. That's all I really wanted to know. So thank you for at least giving me that. Thank you.
Patrick, help. There's something wrong there.
Okay.
I don't mean to gaslight you, because that's gaslighting by the definition. You could be perfectly sane. I just want to point that out. You could be perfectly fine. However, your actions are a direct contradiction of that whole idea.
There we go.
So, I can only say a couple of things. I love you. I wish you well. And I hope you find every happiness. And that's probably the last time I'm going to even acknowledge them. I hope they find happiness. I hope they find some semblance of truth in their life. And I hope they work out why they feel the need to degrade, devalue, put labels on people, and try to defame people by placing labels on me like misogynist. It's clear they don't.
Well, I mean, I never said misogynist on that one, so I can't really get angry. So, because that part in my video was never even said, so I can't really get pissed.
Don't even understand what that means, have any respect for the concept, have any respect for the people that struggle with such a concept. It's clear that they have no respect for the word, because they will willy-nilly just apply it to anything, including jokes that I considered edgy in 2019. I'm not going to...
No, I agree with that part. It's just, I was just making the case of like, okay, because I never said anything, so I know that's not referring to me. So I want to thank you for clarifying that at least. So at least we're on the same page about that.
Apologize for jokes. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not going to happen, darling. Okay, we'll get back to this lovely tagged comment. Thank you for this. I'm not going to reveal who they are because I don't want to give a platform to people like this. But F it. Because my interpretation of this is this person is a YouTuber. They're very small.
And this is the part where I actually at least have to say, I think you actually got some self-respect for yourself, because you referred to yourself in the last video that I pretty much looked into. You called yourself a smaller YouTube channel. No, you're not. You got 27,000 subscribers. I called you a higher tier channel. At least I will thank you at least for giving you the self-respect of acknowledging yourself as a higher tier. I myself, I'm always going to be at the bottom end of the totem pole, and I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. I don't want anything to change. If I don't get any more subscribers or any more views, that's fine. You know what? I just enjoy doing what I do, and I just don't do it in an obsessive behavior. But you know what, Mike? Actually, thank you for coming out and at least talking with me about this. I agree, doxing is an unforgivable thing. But you gotta understand why I'm so highly passionate, because I'm very close. Like, I say close. I fucking hate when I misconstrue my own words. I'm good friends with one of the victims, and it just pains me, and it infuriates me that we kind of use that situation. We use these situations and then we milk and we profit off of it. Don't get me wrong, Keemstar ain't off my fucking list either. I still got to tear into him for what he did to a good friend of mine years ago. And maybe you're not aware of this, Mike. A good friend of mine named Take Shot Action, whether if you're aware of him or not, he attempted suicide on a live stream, and Keemstar took advantage of that. That's the correlation here. May not be suicide, but the exploitation of itself is what infuriates me. That is why I'm highly passionate. That is why I was so angry. That is why I am who I am. And I'm always angry. That is who I am. Anger has always been a part of my life, and I don't want to actually throw this out there again. But I'm someone who has went through over the plus years of being abused. But I don't use that as a crutch, but I use that in terms of anger. That's who I am as a ranter. That's who I am. That's how I project. That's how I am. And it infuriates me. But anyway, I want to hear this part here.
And like Gero, before him that I responded to, because I was just having fun with that video, I realized that I was giving a platform to people that treated me with very little respect. And I finally have enough confidence and self-respect to realize it within myself that I don't need to respond to everyone. I don't need to.
I mean, you did respond to me, so I could at least thank you for that. I mean, just because you actually had the courtesy to not go off the deep end, unlike me. Yeah.
And that's been a really important development for me personally. I don't feel the need to be accountable to people who don't respect me.
Now, I was going to say this, but this is kind of like an old quote from The Sopranos. Those who want respect, give respect. Which is pretty much in the Italian term saying, go fuck yourself and shut the fuck. It pretty much, I want to just throw that aside because, props for you for coming here and actually talking with me about this. I mean, it's one thing to have something endorsed, but like when you keep doing these things, it becomes questionable. That's what I'm going about. So, for example, you know why I actually have, for some of you, why I have a re-upload version of Repsion? I got his permission to do so. But I don't go through every single aspect of Repsion's life. I don't go through every aspect of Stevie's life and upload every single thing. There may be a channel that actually has mirrors of some guy 827, but I'm pretty sure he gave consent to all of those. And if not, he probably would have done something about that. Everyone looks at things very differently. I don't see the same way as you. But I think you can understand exactly why I feel infuriated by it. And the fact that when so many people go through so much stuff from that particular Greg asshole, don't you think it kind of would resonate a little bit more that if someone's making obsessive content, it's kind of making them feel like, okay, well, don't you think that's an unnecessary amount? Again, I'm not going to trash you for making Onision videos. That's if that's your criteria, fine. But don't you think that maybe sometimes it should be a little bit limited? I mean, hell, better yet, constructive criticism. You can try cramming a lot more you can put more things into a video rather than do the same thing over and over again. And the fact of the matter is, I'm doing my best to just stay away from Onision himself. With the exception of tweets, because people keep talking about it, that's fine, but I don't want to keep going on to this. I don't want to keep going on to it, but when this just comes through, it's just hard, and it's just so aggravating. Let me go ahead and read this real quick, because I didn't see that. create what you want to create, but you got to also be aware that that comes with repercussions. Kind of like some of the stuff that I do has repercussions. When I actually made videos on Onision and I felt like it kept going on, the repercussions is that people started constructively criticizing me for what I do. Like if I kept making videos over Morgue official shades, for example, I feel like that was becoming obsessive. I stopped. Moved on with it. Because if I kept making videos on that, what point was that going to do? It's just going to cause another damn war between the Hyperion cult. As much as I think those guys were a bunch of brainwashing assholes, I just don't think that it changes much. Especially the fact that you already have channels that are pretty much already out there, pretty much covering the subject as it is. I just don't see it. Let me put it to you this way. I wanted to read that part real quick because I actually wanted to hear that. But it defeats the purpose anyway because you already have Chris Hansen talking about the subject. I mean, yeah, it's fine to make maybe a video or two there, fine. But don't you think it's kind of already into the point where you got the IRS, the FBI, Chris Hansen, and pretty much the entire community of itself? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you haven't contributed. That's fine, Mike. You've contributed. I'm not going to take that away from you. I will credit you for someone who has contributed. Fine. But your obsessiveness makes it hard to think that maybe your heart isn't in the right place. Or maybe you're not in the right area. That's fine. I'm not telling you what you can and cannot cover. But I'm going to tell you, you better expect the criticism. You better expect the repercussions. I've seen these repercussions before. They've happened. What do you think happened to Joy? Mike, what do you think happened to Joy? Don't bullshit me there. Do not throw that fucking bullshit on me. That is not a label. That is a fact. 230 videos or 200 videos, that is obsessed. Do not sit there and tell me that. That label, that sort of label is complete, utter bullshit that should have been just ripped up and thrown into pieces. I'm not here to tell you that you can't create what you want, Mike. But I am going to tell you that there are repercussions for what you do. There are things that are going to come back to bite you in the ass sometimes. And I've seen it happen. Oh, fuck off with your labeling bullshit. I'm so fucking sick and people are all offended because of the truth of the matter is. Facts speak for themselves, Mike. The facts are already there. I already went through the entire list of your videos. You are obsessed. Whether if your heart's in the right place or not, it is factually clear. You are obsessed. You've admitted to me. You've admitted to the entire audience. You've admitted to everybody that you milked this for financial gain and exploitation. And the fact that Keemstar was trying to come in and take your little profit zone right there just goes to show that you are fucking obsessed. Where's your good interest at heart, huh? And I've said it before. I don't want anything from you. I don't want the fucking money. I don't want any of this shit. But expect people like me to fucking criticize you over it. And I've given you your chance. I've given you your chance to explain yourself. I even told people not to time you out because I wanted to actually hear your side of it. And you want to tell me that I'm labeling you as obsessed when the fact of the matter is it's clear to me? Bullshit. Take your smug ass somewhere else then if you're going to be offended at the fact that I call you something that is factually true. I don't care about what you create. That is fine. Your creativeness does not mean that you cannot create whatever you want, okay? Create whatever you want. But, I will say it again, expect repercussions for certain things that you make. This isn't angry. You want angry? Angry can be up a lot higher. But I want to be no, I am sincere with you. I've been sincere with you since the first response here. Expect the repercussions. Expect the stuff to come back to you because it sure as hell came back for me and it sure as hell came for your friend Joy. This is the same shit with her. No, you blew the fucking respectful conversation when you thought I was labeling you. You fucking blew that because you got offended over the fact that something that is already factually true. You want to know something, by the way? And I already actually got confirmation from this. Some guy at 27 or Stevie Wolf thinks you're a fucking joke. That's who I've been talking to. And he's been around on this platforms for so many years. The OG of the guy that's been pretty much berating and called the shit on fucking Onision ever since you came into existence, ever since you came into your fucking debut. And I've been on this platform just a second as long around from him. And do you see me covering 200 videos on that? Do you see me covering 230? Do you see me taking advantage of every situation that goes on? Do you understand why I'm so passionately high about that? No, you don't. And instead, your fans are going to flock over to me and tell me how much of a vile piece of shit that I am because of the factual shit that comes around Mike. Let me play something for you right here. You want to hear this because these are your words.
For one, and also where I don't understand or know their morals. I don't know most of these people. I don't know what their morals.
Where do your morals lie, Mike? Where do your morals lie? Let me say it one more time. I don't care what you create. That's fine. But especially with everything going on here, expect to be called out. So fuck being calm. I raised my voice at you because you couldn't handle something. No, actually, no. You're becoming what you hate. You're becoming the fact that you are obsessed and you can't deal with it. You're in denial. You're in denial. You want to use the jokes of your Onision videos and go serious. But let me tell you something. You didn't really need to go through all of that just to make a point, do you? My gosh. Who do I really go to in this matter? Do I really go to Keemstar's side or do I go to your side? Neither. But I digress a little bit. But I want to play a little bit more because it gets a little bit interesting.
So I'm not going to base my morals on people I don't know. And they could be completely devoid of morals. I don't know.
I kind of feel that way about you right now. Just going by what I see. Actually, no, Mike, I want you to do me a favor. I want you... this is more of a favor for you, by the way. You can go to my videos and you can see exactly how much I make, or you can go to Stevie's videos, you could go to Shade's videos, you could go to anybody else that I know's videos. I want you to do the comparison or the math for yourself. You could see me as harsh, but you know what? I was actually trying to understand that it's not inherently wrong to make those videos. Not inherently. But the obsession for one, the exploitation for the other, and the fact that you're using those situations in exploitation are basically what I am pissed about. Thanksgiving. And I'm already thankful for what I already have. I'm thankful that I actually have people in my life that keep me from turning into people like you. I don't care about your platform, and I don't want anything a part of it. I don't want whatever you have. I don't want this slice of pie that you have. I don't care for any of that. What I care about is my message, and what I care about is my cause, or the cause of others. I think that's the more appropriate word to say. When I say my cause, it's what I mostly mean is the video that I make. It's toward that cause. That's the message.
I don't know what their intentions are, but your approach definitely dictates what I feel about your intentions. You know, and whether I'm going...
Vice versa. But you know what, Mike? I do actually hold a bit more respect for you for coming out, and some points I mutually agree on. I do. But I said I'm not gonna yell. I didn't actually yell. I just raised my voice. I didn't scream. I didn't roar out like last time. I didn't slam my head or my hand against my chair. You can leave. That's fine. That doesn't matter. You can go. Bye bye. I've covered everything I needed to cover. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and I'm not afraid to grow some balls and tell you that what you're doing is not healthy. And the fact that I think you're not even in this for the good cause. I think you're just in this mostly for yourself, is what I believe. You can create whatever you want to create. No one is taking that away from you. I can't take that away from you. Nobody can take that away from you. But you will be criticized. You will be observed. You will be watched. Whether for better or for worse. I only tagged you once for what? No, actually, no, I tagged you twice and that's it. You're gonna make a big fucking deal over 2 tweets? Is that every moment that you actually get called out on a tweet, you gotta make a video on that too? Keemstar, me, or anybody else? Expect that, you know what? At least find it a little bit more of an entertainment that I actually came up and I actually challenged you on what you do. Yeah, your heart's not in the right place. I'm gonna play 40 more seconds of this because this is the part I wanted to hear out of all of it.
Listen. Now, this approach I wanted to use because I was just like, this is an example of how not to approach me. As baseless assumptions, basically. I'm just going to grow some balls and say it after watching your onion vids. It's clear. How is it clear? How is it clear? How is it clear that you, that I am exploiting the situation?
Because you straight up fucking admitted it, you stupid fucking twat. You straight up admitted it on the Keemstar and Onision video. How is that not clear to you? How is... Can we go back and play that again?
How is it clear that you, that I am exploiting the situation? I think one thing of note that I will do without exploiting that, because I'm not saying this for clout or anything, and that is not something that I'm interested in, and frankly, as I said before, I'm getting...
Well, yeah, kind of contradicting your own terms there on the damn video, and I've already given you your chance, and you fucking blew that too, so don't throw that shit at me after you wanted to get offended to have the whole obsessive thing. Fuck that. We're pretty much past that.
The point where I just don't care. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I'm not going to step on eggshells because I'm worried about what people think of me. 2 of Onision's victims have reached out to me a couple of times, and I was very honored by it, and I was very touched by it, and I will say that I'm not going to mention who they are specifically, but I will say that they like my videos. I won't speak for both of them, but they've indicated that they like my videos.
Editing your video out of context, I pretty much just skipped up to the point where you mentioned my fucking tweet as opposed to you actually talking about Billy and fucking Shiloh to that point. We came up to that part. So how's that taking it out of context, by the way? Really? You basically just straight up said, how is it not clear that I'm exploiting the situation? In your words, by the way, how is it not that clear? I basically did say straight up that I'm skipping ahead, that I was actually going to go to my tweet. I don't care about that other shit. I've already seen it. I've already heard it. If you want people to go and look at your fucking full vid, feel fucking free. But I only came up to that because my tweet was in your fucking thumbnail. That was the main part I wanted to get at. So do not lecture me for one single fucking moment. Then that's the reason why I paused when I asked you that question about who's the one who needed psychiatric help, because I didn't want to jump the fucking gun on that. So that would be taking that out of context if I was to say, "Oh, you mentioned it about me." That is why I stopped there. Criticizing you, yes. And even if these two people did reach out to you, are they fucking aware of how much that you make? Are they aware about what you say? Did you even show them the Keemstar and Onision video that you pretty much said that you straight out exploit? I'm not the authority, but I am someone who can criticize you. You are subjected to that. We're almost done here. Actually, I find this a little bit insulting too. Not to me, at least, but I think to some certain people that I know. And you already know them. Or actually, you heard of them. Mike, I'm not buying any of this. I'm not. And even if these two people did reach out to you, are they fully aware? Are they fully aware of your actions? Are they fully aware of what you said from that video I played on the last stream? That doesn't matter if I buy it or not. I'm not here to convince people. I'm just here to call you out. And I did. And wow, did I strike some fucking gold with you. It's clear to me. Which, by the way, Mike, there's something you should know, by the way. Something that I don't think you know. There is a certain person who has been keeping up with every single thing that you do. And I want you to keep this for food for thought, by the way. He's kept up with every single thing that you have been doing. I know him personally, and he's been on your ass. He follows you, and he's been on your ass. And it has not been ever so clear to me. And you want to know what he said? I'm not going to say it. Because I just don't think that in comparison to what I'm saying, it's going to be any worse for you. But let me just give you the short version. He thinks you don't fucking care. But in the context of you don't care about what these situations are. Boy, if I can go back and read that message, I would actually, I'm actually going to go back and read that because that's something that really struck my mind. And this person has done their research on everything, and I mean everything. Bye-bye, Mike. Bye-bye. I don't think anyone here is going to miss you. Go off into your little echo chamber. I already have everything I want. I already have everything I need, and I'm content with it. I'm happy with the fact that I already have everything I need. You, on the other hand, I hope you find what you're looking for, and I hope you savor it. Because eventually, the shit that you do, you're going to get criticized for it again. And it's not going to be me, it's going to be other people. I've seen it before, and I will sure as hell see it again. So feel free to leave. No, Chelsea, let him leave on his own terms. Let him. I want to give him the graceful exit. Give him the chance. Because I'm not that sort of dude. Big surprise coming. That's fine. Go right ahead. Content police, fuck off. It's criticizing, not censoring what you can and cannot do. But take the fucking criticism for once in your fucking life. Joy Sparkles, motherfucker. Oh, yeah, get offended the fact that I keep bringing up Joy Sparkles, the fucking biggest sin that I've ever made on YouTube. The biggest sin everyone else has made on YouTube. The fact that everyone trusted her and she turned her back on everyone. And you're here doing the same exact fucking thing. Really? I'm done. Go ahead, leave. I myself, I'm gonna get something to drink. Before we leave. Good thing I'm not wasting any sleep over this now. Jump is to the right, and here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Oh yeah. Actually, no, Mike. I went to get something to drink, and the fact that you're still here kind of shades a little bit of some. I don't know. Shades a little bit of some question. Why are you still here? You're not gonna swallow BS? Oh wow, ugh! I hate to see you give oral to Joy Sparkles BS. If that's the case, yeah, I don't want to stick around for that. No, that was too weak. I want to admit. Which, by the way, I need to change that. It says Moving Box Rentals. It's actually supposed to say the Las Vegas Strip, so I need to change that. Oh yeah, no. Now Niece is actually gonna give me shit. Oh yeah, I just got walked off by someone. No, I didn't. I went to get something to drink. What a fucking joke of a catastrophe. Okay, so let me do something real quick. I forgot I gotta actually send over my contribution for my YouTube Hall of Fame list. I forgot about that. Yeah, I know. 10% left, I know. And yes, Chelsea, I will check out the link you sent me, by the way. So. Huh? Oh, never mind. Oh, it's that one. Okay, cool. You know what, Mike? Maybe we can. But until then, until maybe I see that you may have taken some constructive criticism to heart. Actually, no, it's not really constructive criticism. It's more of harsh criticism. But until I see some criticism to that, I'm not convinced. But let me repeat this point one more time. Even if these two people came out to you, do you really think the 230 vids is really going to actually, I don't know, is it going to help in the long run after? Because, are they aware? Are they aware? I think that's the last question I want to ask you. Are they aware of what you're doing? Are they aware of exactly what you say? I guess I can, but sometimes I always had that self-doubt that I'm always a bad guy. But in this case, I don't see it that way. See, the thing about that is, Mike, I don't want to involve people in our drama situation because that's not what I want. I don't want people having to deal with the stress of what we're doing. We've already got the whole Onision shit going on, and mutually to that point, mutually, I agree with you that Onision himself should lose everything. That's a complete blank slate right there. Right there. That is a foundation I think you and I can both stand upon, that we mutually agree upon. That's fine. But don't you think that sometimes certain things are better left unsaid? Certain things, not all. Certain things. Where's my headband at? Yeah, I'll get it later. I kind of find out he's still here, but okay. Or maybe we've calmed down. Oh, oh. Oh, great Bon Jovi album. Oh, yeah, forgot about that, Shades. Son of a bitch. Wait, what? Yeah, true. I agree with that. Everyone has standards. Maybe you have different standards than I do. I can agree with that. See, that one's hard. But I will say to this, thank you for actually coming. Thank you. Actually. Not sarcastically speaking. Thank you. Yeah, we may have actually gone at each other, maybe. I don't know. You've got your own way of doing it. I've got mine, but you actually took the time to come here. I can at least give you that. I appreciate that you actually came here and you said some things. May not have been the best, but I actually do respect that. Believe that or not. May have called you a stupid damn twat, but I think it was because on that part, it doesn't really matter. You can take it the way you want, but I respect the fact that you actually came. Not a whole lot of people that I've called out before do that. I'm actually glad too. And you know what? Thank you, Mike, for at least coming out and talking. Maybe, and this is a maybe. Perhaps next time we can do this on a more civil plane. We can do this a little bit more, talking to each other out more. Because I was like this with a lot of other people too, and we ended up we became friends. No problem, and thank you. So that's my final rant. That's all I needed to get off. So Mikeanactor, next time we talk, hopefully we can talk this out more like gentlemen, or we can just talk on a more civil plane. I know that I actually came on as aggressive, but I think at least you would understand that I came off aggressive out of a passionate concern. That is why. Now, if someone came out to you and gave you this and you covered the subject on it, that's fine because it's one subject. That's fine. But I'll let that go because we're past that. It's one thing when someone reaches out to you and you want to cover something about it. I've got nothing against that. That to me is completely fine. If someone comes out to you and says something about this and they're completely fine with that particular video you make, completely fine. That I will not hold against you. But I think you already know exactly what I mean. Can we at least mutually agree that there are certain differences? Okay, I'd be willing to. Would you like to talk about that? I mean, I know it's technically already Thanksgiving, but would you like to talk about this tomorrow? Privately. So, and I will give you my promise, and I mean like my promise from the bottom of my heart, not resort to insults, not resort to anything that seems insulting or labeling in your eyes, I guess, even though we're going to have a that's still an intervention thing that I'm still pretty much having a word things though. I know you got to go, but yeah. But if you're willing to do that with me civilly, I'd be willing to do that too. So, metaphorically or in a sense, that's shaking your hand respectfully and out of honor. Anyways, I'm going to end it off here. Mikeanactor, thank you for at least taking the time, despite our differences and despite the tense environment that we're all kind of in. But thank you for at least coming out and explaining your part. And hopefully one day we can laugh about this. And maybe we can exchange notes one day about shit. But until then, I just don't feel convinced. Okay, absolutely. I can definitely do that. And before you go, there's one more thing I do need to say. Do not let this be the wrong impression, because this is not who I am to people. I may be angry, but this is not the impression. You've only seen me out of a high passion state. But I will talk to you on a civil plan, and I will talk to you as a person. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go because you gotta go. Thank you guys for showing up, and thank you for listening to me by giving him a chance to speak. I think this is actually, in some way, it was actually a good first step, despite the hostility in some ways. But I think this was, in fact, a good first step. Take care, Mikeanactor. You have a good night. Thank you guys for coming out, and we will go forward and we will actually do something a lot more different on the next video. We will do something a little bit more on the positive and brighter side. So thank you guys for coming out. Have a wonderful day.